When you feel her growing distant, it's natural to worry that your relationship is slipping away. You might fear that if you let go, she'll fade out of your life for good. But here's what most people get wrong. Stepping back with the right mindset can actually shift the entire dynamic in your favor. Instead of seeing your concern as desperation, she begins to sense your calm confidence. That quiet poise creates a magnetic pull that words alone can't match. In the Stoic tradition, real power isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about maintaining your inner composure regardless of what life or love throws at you. If you've been searching for a way to realign your connection, this might just be it. Stoicism offers a path that keeps you grounded in your own sense of self. Think of how the ancient philosophers like Epictetus or Marcus Aurelius would handle the uncertainties of modern relationships. They would neither cling nor rush, but observe, reflect, and respond according to reason. That's the essence of the approach we'll explore. Rather than drowning in anxious thoughts or overwhelming her with texts, you learn to hold your center. It's not about neglecting her or playing hard to get. It's about valuing your own tranquility enough to resist mindless chasing. In the end, this transformation isn't just about making her chase you. It's about learning to stand steady in the face of emotional currents. When you do, you become the kind of person who naturally attracts others through strength and genuine self-assurance. She'll notice the difference, and so will you. Welcome to a new way of handling distance in love, guided by ancient wisdom that remains just as potent today. When someone you care about becomes distant, your first impulse might be to chase after her. You wonder if she's losing interest or if something you said drove her away. But often, her need for space is less about you and more about her own internal process. She could be dealing with personal pressures that have nothing to do with the relationship, or she might just need time to breathe. In Stoicism, we learn that we can't control external events, only our responses to them. So instead of spiraling into panic, consider adopting a stance of calm inquiry. What's really going on here, and how should you respond? One principle of Stoicism is to differentiate between what is within our power and what is not. Her emotional state, her inclination to connect or pull back, is something you cannot command, but you can govern your reaction to her changes. By respecting her need for space, you also display a certain poise that many find irresistible. You aren't rushing to fix or alter the situation. You aren't drowning her with messages that do nothing but reveal your insecurity. Instead, you stand firm in your self-respect, letting her see that you value both her autonomy and your own. At the same time, do pay attention to any patterns. If she repeatedly becomes distant, and it's starting to affect your mental well-being, it may be time to ask whether the relationship is aligned with your core values. A key Stoic tenet is living in harmony with virtue, which includes honesty, respect, and fairness. If her distance stems from manipulative tendencies, it's worth examining whether the bond truly serves both of you. But if it's genuine space she needs, let her have it, while you maintain your sense of purpose. One of the biggest mistakes men make when faced with distance is to pile on the texts, calls, and social media likes. Suddenly, you're checking your phone every 5 minutes, analyzing her last message for hidden meaning. But from a Stoic viewpoint, all of this frantic effort is a sign that you've placed your peace of mind in someone else's hands. The more you chase, the more you show that you depend on her responses for your emotional balance. Instead, pause. Ask yourself what happens if you refrain from that next text or late-night call. Will the world end? Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us that we suffer not from events, but from our judgments about them. The story you might be telling yourself is that if you don't chase her, she'll vanish from your life forever. But the reality could be entirely different. When you stop chasing, you free her from the pressure of your expectations, and you give yourself space to reflect clearly on the relationship. Another critical error is oversharing your fears and insecurities with someone who's already pulling away. Yes, communication matters, but flooding her with unresolved anxieties can have the opposite effect of what you intend. Instead of feeling closer, she might feel overwhelmed or even burdened by your emotional outpouring. Stoic practice encourages measured discourse, speaking what is necessary at the right time, guided by reason rather than fear. If you notice that your desire to talk it out is fueled by panic, take a step back and regain your composure. Silence is a powerful stance that is often misunderstood. Silence doesn't mean playing games or neglecting a partner. It's a conscious decision to provide space for both of you to breathe. In a relationship, especially when tension is high or misunderstandings arise, stepping back can allow calmer perspectives to emerge. This is not a punishment, but rather a controlled environment for clarity. In ancient Stoic teachings, silence is linked to self-mastery. If you are silent, not in anger but in self-control, you demonstrate that you're not rattled by external events. You're giving her time to process her own feelings without being bombarded by your need for immediate reassurance. Silence can pique her curiosity, yes, but more importantly, it protects your peace. She has the freedom to miss your presence, to wonder about your thoughts, and to realize what life is like without constant attention from you. That absence can reignite attraction because it reminds her of your individuality and your capacity for restraint. During periods of silence, channel your energies into self-improvement. Spend time honing your skills, focusing on your mental and physical well-being, and cultivating hobbies that bring you joy. In Stoicism, the ultimate aim is virtue, excellence of character. By working on yourself, you not only divert your anxious thoughts, but you also grow into someone worthy of a deeper, more meaningful connection. If and when she returns, she'll find a more centered, more enriched individual waiting for her, not someone who has been wallowing in self-pity or impatience. A powerful technique to realign the relationship dynamic is to redirect the focus back onto your own life. When you sense distance, it's easy to lose yourself in worries about her feelings and her next move. However, the Stoics remind us that focusing excessively on externals, things we can't control, is a surefire path to disturbance. Instead, concentrate on that which is within your influence, your character, your choices, your growth. By dedicating your energy to becoming the best version of yourself, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You stop seeing her distance as a tragedy and start viewing it as an opportunity for introspection and self-improvement. Take up a new form of exercise or refine your personal style. Deepen friendships that you might have neglected, or finally commit to that creative project you've been dreaming about. Paradoxically, the less you obsess over her, the more you cultivate a life that's genuinely fulfilling. People are naturally drawn to those who have their own sense of purpose, passions, and vitality. When she looks your way and sees that you're flourishing in her absence, it can spark a reappraisal of her own feelings. She might start to wonder how she fits into this renewed version of your life. And that's the essence of healthy attraction. Mutual respect and admiration, rather than a lopsided dynamic fueled by anxiety and pursuit. One subtle move can dramatically alter the energy between you and a distant partner. Stop seeking her validation. This doesn't mean you become dismissive or uncaring. It means you no longer hinge your self-esteem on her reactions. Instead, you root your sense of worth in who you are and the principles you stand for. The result is often profound because it frees both of you from the push and pull of constant reassurance. When you latch onto every sign of approval, every compliment, every favorable response, you inadvertently give away your inner power. You're telling her that her opinion defines you. Stoicism, however, encourages you to remain indifferent to external praise or criticism. This doesn't mean you ignore her entirely, but you learn to anchor your sense of identity in the virtues you cultivate: honesty, compassion, resilience, and wisdom. The moment she realizes you're not chasing her nod of approval, the atmosphere shifts. No longer are you at her beck and call, waiting to be affirmed. You become a self-contained individual, grounded in your own values. That self-possession is magnetic. She sees that your life isn't dependent on her every move, and that realization can trigger renewed interest and respect. In a healthy relationship, mutual admiration replaces the race for validation, leading to a sturdier, more balanced connection. Distance in a relationship can be perplexing, but understanding the psychology behind it can illuminate what's happening beneath the surface. Often, when someone pulls away, it's a way of testing emotional elasticity, how the relationship responds to stress or uncertainty. She might be unconsciously assessing whether you'll remain calm or panic at the first sign of withdrawal. Stoic wisdom suggests that it is in these very trials that one's true character is revealed. If you react with anxiety, sending multiple messages, or pleading for an explanation, it confirms that you're rattled. This not only shows dependence on her, but also robs her the chance to reflect on her own emotions. On the other hand, if you maintain your composure, giving her space while preserving your self-respect, you demonstrate a calm resolve that stands out from the crowd. She may find this trait unusual or even admirable because it shows an inner security that doesn't waver when tested. Moreover, from a Stoic perspective, every challenge is an opportunity to practice virtue. Rather than seeing her distance as a catastrophe, view it as a lesson in patience, temperance, and self-awareness. By willingly accepting what you cannot control, her emotional ebb and flow, you become freer to cultivate what you can control, your response. This mindset shift not only preserves your peace, but also allows for genuine understanding to emerge when you two finally reconnect. Setting boundaries is not about constructing emotional walls to keep her out. It's about defining what respect and mutual understanding look like for you. In many relationships, especially when someone becomes distant, one partner might overextend themselves, attempting to rectify the situation by any means necessary. But if you constantly overreach, sacrificing your needs, your time, or your self-esteem, you end up draining yourself and potentially enabling unhealthy patterns. Stoicism teaches the concept of internal sovereignty. You have dominion over your choices and your moral purpose. By setting healthy boundaries, you respect that sovereignty. If she ignores your messages for days, you might decide that you won't chase her for a response. That's not an act of spite. It's an act of self-respect. When she does come around, you can calmly express your perspective, stating that open, respectful communication is a core value you uphold. Boundaries also serve as a mirror, reflecting each person's willingness to meet the other halfway. If she respects your boundaries, it's a sign she values you as an equal. If not, you gain insight into whether you're in a relationship that aligns with your virtues. In this way, boundaries help cultivate mutual respect and clear communication, which are cornerstones not just of Stoic philosophy, but of any healthy, thriving relationship. We've all heard the saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it holds a kernel of psychological truth. When someone is no longer constantly present, our minds fill in the gaps with memories of the qualities we appreciated. The space allows for reflection, which can intensify feelings of admiration or longing. In love, as in Stoicism, the key isn't to fear absence, but to use it productively. However, for absence to work in your favor, you must be someone worth missing. If you utilize time apart to ruminate in self-doubt, she's not going to be drawn back by newfound admiration. Instead, if you employ that time to better yourself, perhaps reading Stoic texts, enhancing your physical fitness, or refining your talents, you transform into a more compelling individual. This transformation is often silent, yet striking, when she does re-enter your sphere. Another crucial point is that absence should be genuine, not contrived. If you're stepping away simply to manipulate her feelings, you may succeed momentarily, but the foundation of the connection remains shaky. A Stoic approach emphasizes sincerity. You step back because you recognize that constant pushing erodes mutual respect and personal serenity. You aim to create a space where both parties can reassess their values and desires, which often reignites that initial spark of attraction. Distance can be a catalyst for deeper desire if navigated wisely. Rather than viewing it as a sign of doom, see it as an opportunity to cultivate a sense of intrigue. In a culture where immediate gratification is the norm, unpredictability and restraint stand out. When you refrain from sending that fifth text, when you calmly decline an invitation if you already have plans, you're subtly reminding her that you have your own priorities. This doesn't mean you become evasive or play mind games. Transparency remains important, but so does a measure of self-possession. In Stoic terms, you demonstrate that your tranquility doesn't hinge on someone else's timetable. If you do see each other, be genuinely present. Listen to her stories. Show your appreciation, but keep an air of independence. She will feel the difference between an earnest desire to engage and an anxious need to please. Paradoxically, this balance between warmth and self-sufficiency can boost her sense of longing. She's reminded that you exist as a whole person, not just an accessory to her life. Moreover, she sees a reflection of confidence, an attribute deeply rooted in Stoic thought. Your life is full, your mind is balanced, and you share your time and attention without desperation. That composure can make the moments of closeness even more powerful, turning distance into a dynamic that elevates rather than erodes attraction. The ultimate goal of Stoic philosophy is not to perfect a set of dating strategies, but to cultivate self-worth and virtue. When you navigate someone's distance with steady composure, it speaks volumes about your character. It's easy to remain calm when all is going well. The true test comes when uncertainty brews. In these moments, your self-worth must originate from within, not from her approval or disapproval. This doesn't mean you become evasive or play mind games. Transparency remains important, but so does a measure of self-possession. In Stoic terms, you demonstrate that your tranquility doesn't hinge on someone else's timetable. If you do see each other, be genuinely present. Listen to her stories. Show your appreciation, but keep an air of independence. She will feel the difference between an earnest desire to engage and an anxious need to please. Paradoxically, this balance between warmth and self-sufficiency can boost her sense of longing. She's reminded that you exist as a whole person, not just an accessory to her life. Moreover, she sees a reflection of confidence, an attribute deeply rooted in Stoic thought. Your life is full, your mind is balanced, and you share your time and attention without desperation. That composure can make the moments of closeness even more powerful, turning distance into a dynamic that elevates, rather than erodes, attraction. The ultimate goal of Stoic philosophy is not to perfect a set of dating strategies, but to cultivate self-worth and virtue. When you navigate someone's distance with steady composure, it speaks volumes about your character. It's easy to remain calm when all is going well. The true test comes when uncertainty brews. In these moments, your self-worth must originate from within, not from her approval or disapproval. Imagine the difference. One person frantically begs for reassurance. Another remains quietly self-assured. Which energy is more compelling? Stoicism teaches us that true confidence arises from living in accordance with our values. If honesty, respect, and authenticity guide your actions, your confidence grows naturally. Even if her distance doesn't resolve as you hoped, you preserve your dignity. Self-worth also means recognizing that you have a fulfilling path outside the relationship. If she chooses to keep her distance indefinitely, it's not the end of your world. You carry on with your pursuits, your growth, and your life. This doesn't negate your feelings for her, but it situates them within a broader perspective, one in which you remain the primary author of your own story. She's invited to journey with you, but you don't abandon your path to chase after someone else's footsteps. Ultimately, stepping back when she becomes distant is an act of trust. Trust in her process and trust in yourself. You're signaling that you won't force closeness through panic or manipulation. This trust is deeply grounded in Stoicism, which teaches faith in the rational order of things. If the relationship is meant to flourish, it will find its equilibrium in time. If not, you maintain your self-respect and clarity. Of course, trusting the process doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to the relationship's needs. Instead, you offer genuine compassion and a readiness to communicate, while leaving her the freedom to bridge the gap on her own terms. The result can be a stronger connection, built on voluntary mutual engagement rather than fear-driven attachment. She chooses to return because she values you, not because you cornered her into responding. At times, she might reciprocate your calmness with renewed interest, marveling at how you manage your withdrawal without losing your center. In other instances, distance might reveal deeper incompatibilities. Either way, you emerge more aware, more composed, and better prepared to handle whatever comes next. In the grand scheme of Stoic practice, every situation, pleasant or painful, is a lesson in honing your virtues. In the final analysis, the heart of this approach lies in shifting your perspective. Instead of viewing her distance as a crisis, see it as a chance to refine your character. It's a chance to demonstrate composure, self-possession, and genuine care without grasping. When you refrain from frantic action, you create an environment where authentic desire can flourish, a desire rooted in respect, curiosity, and mutual admiration. No one is advocating emotional coldness. Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy devoid of feeling, but that's far from the truth. The Stoics acknowledge human emotions, yet saw them as guides that should not overpower reason. So you can still express concern and affection. You simply do so in a measured, confident way. You offer support but never beg for validation. You remain open but never cling. You speak when your heart is aligned with reason, not out of panic or fear. If this resonates with you, take the next step by consciously applying these insights in your daily life. Observe your reactions, practice silence when it serves clarity, and redirect your energy towards self-improvement. The more you cultivate these virtues, the more naturally you'll handle any distance that appears. And in that process, you transform yourself into someone who not only commands respect, but also fosters a deeper, more meaningful bond. For those looking for exclusive insights and a deeper dive into Stoic approaches for modern relationships, consider exploring resources that can help you refine these techniques. Whether you choose to read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, Epictetus's Discourses, or contemporary Stoic literature, you'll find timeless wisdom applicable to everyday love and life. This is your invitation to become a member of a thriving community of individuals who strive to embody resilience, wisdom, and calm. You'll discover that real influence in love doesn't come from mind games or superficial tactics. It comes from consistent demonstrations of inner strength. Relationships, after all, are not transactional competitions. They are arenas where virtue can flourish if both parties commit to honesty, respect, and openness. Even if she's distant, your practice of Stoic principles ensures that you remain anchored in self-respect and readiness for genuine connection. As you continue on this path, you'll find that the unexpected becomes more manageable, the unknown less daunting, and the ups and downs of love more meaningful. You won't just be surviving relationship turbulence. You'll be thriving, growing, and discovering new depths to your own character. So take these steps seriously. Focus on yourself, trust the process, and watch how your calm, Stoic approach shifts the dynamic, often in ways more profound than you'd ever imagine. Remember, making her miss you is not the ultimate victory. The deeper goal is to refine your own mind, heart, and spirit so that you're free from the anxiety of constant external validation. When you live from that place of wholeness, your relationships become richer, not because you've manipulated someone into desiring you, but because you've attracted them with the authentic radiance of your true self. So let this be your invitation to rethink the way you handle emotional distance. Instead of leaping into a flurry of texts or desperate attempts to regain her attention, step into stillness. Use that stillness to recalibrate, to bolster your personal growth, and to reinforce the virtues that define you. What you'll find is that absence, when harnessed well, can reignite the spark, but it can also keep you level-headed if the relationship isn't meant to endure. That's the beauty of Stoic philosophy. You remain grounded in your own core principles, unaffected by fleeting whims of fortune. Whether she comes closer or drifts away, you stand firm in your sense of self. And from that stable foundation, real love not based on fear or neediness, can blossom in its most genuine form. As you wrap up these reflections, remember that true Stoic love isn't detached or cold. It's deeply invested yet fiercely independent. It cares wholeheartedly, but refuses to let external outcomes dictate inner peace. If you're yearning for a relationship that resonates with these ideals, start by embodying them yourself. Watch how your demeanor shifts, how you speak with more clarity and calm, how your very presence becomes an anchor in any storm. Love, from a Stoic lens, involves a commitment to mutual growth. It's a dance where two individuals come together, each rooted in self-awareness and guided by virtue. So when she becomes distant, view it less as a personal affront and more as part of the dance, an opportunity to showcase poise, respect, and a willingness to stand by your values. Finally, if these insights have struck a chord, keep exploring. Engage with communities or platforms that delve into Stoic practice for modern living. The tools you gather can be your guide whenever challenges arise, offering a tranquil clarity that not only benefits your romantic endeavors, but every aspect of your life. By grounding yourself in these principles, you become the person who naturally inspires respect, admiration, and genuine closeness. And perhaps that's the truest measure of success in love. Not how many people chase you, but how genuinely you can share your finest self.